The wind was cold. Dust blew across the rocky ground of Outpost Zeta, a forgotten colony far from any major trade route. Most humans didn't come here. And if they did, they didn't stay long. But today, a human had arrived. His name was Logan. Carter, a supply engineer from Earth. His job was simple: deliver parts, check systems, and leave. But what he found here was not listed in any report. It was a girl, an alien girl. She was sitting behind the breeding center, hidden between metal crates and old machines. Her eyes were glowing faintly in the dark, her skin a pale silver with light. Blue marks, but what stood out the most was her size. She was massive, almost as tall as the center's door, and broader than any female Logan had ever seen. Her arms were thick, her legs powerful, her body full of strength, but her shoulders were hunched. She was trying to make herself small, trying to disappear. She looked up when she heard Logan's boots crunching on the gravel. And she panicked. She tried to hide her face with her arms and backed deeper into the shadows. Her voice came out low and broken. "Please don't look at me." Logan stopped, confused. "Hey, I didn't mean to scare you." She didn't answer. Her whole body was shaking. Logan took a slow step closer. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said softly. "I just didn't expect anyone back here." After a few moments, the girl peeked between her fingers. Her eyes were large and filled with fear. "You're human, aren't you?" Logan nodded. "Yeah, Logan Carter. And you are?" She hesitated. Then she whispered, "Vari." He smiled gently. "Hi, Vari." She looked away again, ashamed. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "You weren't supposed to see me. I stay back here so." "No one does." Logan sat on a nearby crate, still watching her. "Why?" There was silence for a long time. Then she said something that caught his heart. "Because I was born wrong." Logan frowned. "What do you mean wrong?" She turned, her head slowly, pain in her eyes. "My people. The females are supposed to be small, soft, delicate. That's what makes them good for breeding. That's what makes them valuable." Logan didn't say anything. Vari's voice grew softer. "But I came out like this, big, heavy, strong. Like a male. They said I'm not breeding material." The last words cracked as she said them. She looked like she was about to cry. "They keep the other girls inside, in the warmth. They get food, clothes, care. I get leftovers. I sleep outside." Logan clenched his jaw. Something about her words made his stomach twist. "That's not right," he said quietly. Vari gave a small, bitter laugh. "That's life. No one wants someone like me. Not for work. Not for breeding, not even for comfort. I'm useless." Logan stood up and took a few steps forward. Vari flinched, expecting him to leave or shout. But he did something else. He held out his hand. "Come on," he said. "It's freezing out here." She stared at his hand like it was made of fire. "Why are you being kind to me?" she asked in disbelief. Logan shrugged. "Because you deserve it. No one ever says that to me," she said. "They laugh or stare or just walk away. I'm not like them," Logan said. "I see someone strong and hurting." Vari's lip trembled. She didn't take his hand. But she didn't look away either. "I used to dream," she whispered, "that someone would look at me and not be scared, not be disgusted, just see me." A long silence passed between them. The wind blew again, colder now. Logan finally broke the silence. "Do you want something warm to eat?" Her eyes widened. "You'd share food with me?" "I've got enough," he said with a smile. "And I'd like the company," Vari hesitated. Then, slowly, she crawled out from the shadows. Her size was even more obvious now, but so was her grace. She moved carefully, like she was afraid her weight would break the world. She sat beside him, shivering slightly. Logan handed her a thermal pack. She held it like it was gold. "Thank you," she whispered as she ate. Logan looked at her. "You're not wrong, Vari," he said quietly. "Maybe you were just born for someone different." Her eyes widened slightly. "Someone like a human?" Logan didn't answer. He just smiled. The night had fallen heavy. Snowflakes drifted down silently, covering the ground in a thin white layer. The buildings of the outpost were dark, except for a few flickering lights. The warmth was inside. But Vari was not allowed. In Dot, she stood outside the shelter door, holding her arms tight around her chest, breathing slow so no one could hear her. She didn't want trouble. She only wanted to survive. Dot, suddenly, a quiet voice came from behind her. "You're going to freeze out here." She turned fast. Her huge body tense, expecting a guard, a scientist. Or worse. But it was only him. The human. Logan. He stood there, holding a small heat pack in one hand and a blanket in the other. His face wasn't angry. It was calm, gentle. Vari stepped back. "I'm fine." "You're shivering," Logan said. She looked down. Her toes were turning blue. She hadn't noticed. "Still," she said. "They told me not to come inside. My shape, makes the others uncomfortable." Logan slowly walked toward her. "That's not your fault." Vari shook her head. "Everything about me is a fault. My mother cried when she saw me. The nurses said I was built wrong, too big, too wide. They said I'd never carry life." Her voice cracked. "They said I was a failed female." Logan was quiet for a moment. Then he held out the blanket. "Then they're blind," he said softly. "Because I don't see failure. I see someone strong enough to survive all this." Vari didn't move. Not yet. She looked at the blanket, then at his eyes. Then finally, after what felt like forever, she took a Dot. It felt heavy, not in weight, but in meaning. No one had ever offered her warmth before. "Come sit by the fire," Logan said. She followed. They sat beside a small heater near his shuttle. Logan handed her a protein bar and water. She accepted them with shaking hands. As she ate, her voice returned, soft and bitter. "They keep the other girls inside," she said. "They're all small, beautiful, perfect for birthing new generations. I'm just here for lifting heavy things. If I get in the way, they push me aside." Logan leaned back, watching the stars above. "I come from a place where strength isn't shame," he said. "Where women can lift, fight, build, and still be mothers. Still be loved." Vari turned her head slowly. "You mean they don't reject big females on your world?" Logan smiled. "Nope, some even prefer them." Vari blinked. "You're joking." "I'm serious." A small silence, then a small sound, a laugh. Vari laughed. Just once, quick and light, like it surprised even her. "No one's ever said something like that to me," she whispered. "Not even in kindness. Not even as a lie." "I'm not lying," Logan said. She looked at him. "You really don't find me disgusting?" Logan met her eyes and said firmly, "I think you're beautiful in a way your people forgot how to see." She stared at him. For the first time in her life, someone looked at her, not as a mistake, not as a tool, not as a problem, but as a person. As a woman. She wrapped the blanket tighter around her and leaned slightly toward the fire. "Do you really think someone like me could be wanted?" she asked. Logan didn't answer right away. He looked at her, her eyes glowing softly in the dark, her face half hidden in shadow but no longer afraid. Then he said, "I think someone like you just needs the right person to see her." Vari's voice trembled. "And what if no one ever does?" Logan's reply came slow and steady. "Then I guess I'll have to stay here until someone does." Suspense filled the air. Vari's eyes widened. Her lips parted to say something, but no words came. She just sat still, staring at this strange human who had done what no one ever had. He had shared his fire. The sun was sharp and cruel that morning. It lit up every broken corner of Outpost Zeta, the rusted walls, the icy cracks in the concrete, and the trash near the breeding center. That's where Vari stood. Head down, shoulders hunched. She was trying to clean the mess. Leftover crates, spilled food, trash the others tossed from the windows. It was her daily task. Not because it was her job, because no one else wanted her inside. Then it happened. A group of young aliens from the inner barracks walked by. One of them pointed at her and laughed. "Look at the giant one, still trying to be useful?" Another one threw a half-eaten ration bar. It hit her back. The third added, "Maybe she's cleaning so the human doesn't see how disgusting she is." They laughed. Vari didn't move, not a blink. Not a sound, because this wasn't new. It had happened all her life. But this time, someone else was watching. Logan was standing on the upper deck, checking solar panels. He heard everything. And for a few seconds, he just stared. Then he came down fast. Not with anger, but with purpose. He walked right into the group and stood between Vari and the others. "Got something funny to say?" he asked, calm but cold. The aliens stopped laughing. One of them scoffed. "She's your pet now, human?" Logan smiled, but it wasn't a nice smile. "She's more valuable than any of you clowns," he said. "At least she knows what respect is." One tried to speak, but Logan raised a hand. "You toss food at someone who's stronger than all of you combined? That's real smart." The group stepped back. They weren't used to being challenged. Especially not for her. Logan turned his back to them, looked at Vari. "Let's go," he said. Vari hesitated. "I shouldn't." But he was already walking. So she followed. They walked to the edge of the outpost, where a broken wall opened to the cliffs. The view was wide snowy hills and frozen lakes under a blue sky. Logan sat on a rock and motioned for her to sit too. "I'm sorry you had to see that," Vari whispered. "I'm not," Logan said. She blinked. "Why not?" "Because now I know what you've been carrying all this time, and it makes me respect you even more." Vari looked at the ground. "I'm used to being looked at, but never seen." Logan nodded slowly. "I see you, Vari." She turned her head, not quickly, not dramatically, just slow. Careful, scared to believe. "You see me?" she asked. "Yeah. You think I just noticed your body?" "No. I saw how you waited until everyone slept to eat your meal, so no one would laugh. I saw how you hid your feet so they wouldn't tease your size. I saw how you never spoke first, because no one ever gave you the right to speak." He leaned closer. "I saw your soul." Vari's lips trembled. Her eyes shined, not with light, but with something new. Hope. Why? She asked in a whisper. "Why do you care?" Logan didn't smile this time. He answered honestly. "Because someone should have cared a long time ago. And because I think you've never been loved the way you deserve." The words hit her like a shock. Loved? She had never imagined that word belonged to her. "I don't know how to be loved," she admitted. "Then let's figure it out," Logan said. "Together." Silence stretched between them. Not empty. Full of meaning. Full of change. Then Vari did something she had never done in front of anyone before. She reached out her hand. Slowly. Carefully. She didn't touch him. Not yet. But she let it hover near his hand. Logan looked at her hand, then gently placed his over hers. Warm, steady, real. "I don't care what they say," he said. "To me, you are not broken." The storm came without warning. Dark clouds rolled over the outpost. Wings howled through the cracks in the metal walls. And the cold, sharp, and bitter seemed to dig straight into the bone. Everyone ran inside, except one. Vari. She was outside the storage unit, trying to move a heavy supply crate before the wind toppled it. Her muscles strained. Her breath came in sharp gasps. Then she slipped. The crate slammed onto her leg. Not enough to break it, but enough to pin her down. She didn't scream. She never screamed. Instead, she bit her lip and waited for the pain to pass. Waited for the storm to quiet. Waited, alone. But someone saw her, and someone ran. Logan. He reached her fast, panting, eyes wide. Vari. I'm fine, she lied. He ignored her words and grabbed the edge of the crate. He tried lifting it, but it didn't budge. Snow and wind hit them both hard, but he didn't stop. Hold on, he said. I'm used to pain, she whispered. Well, I'm not used to watching you suffer, he snapped. She blinked. Then, with one last push, Logan rolled the crate off her leg. He fell to the side, breathing heavy, soaking wet. Vari tried to stand, but her leg gave out. Logan caught her before she hit the ground. Without asking, he lifted her into his arms. She froze. Her body was so big, he had to shift his weight just to carry her. But he didn't complain. He didn't make a face. He just held her. No one had ever done that. Ever. He brought her to his shelter, a small tent built against the wall. It was warm inside, the heater humming softly. He set her down on the floor mat and checked her leg. It's just bruised, he said. But you need rest. Vari looked away. I'm sorry. Logan frowned. For what? For needing help, she said. For being heavy. For taking up space. Logan gently touched her shoulder. She flinched. Then he said the words that shook her heart. Don't ever say that again. Vari's lips trembled. I was taught that my weight makes me less. Well, Logan said, I think your weight just saved that crate from flying into the barracks. She blinked then. Smiled, a real one. It was soft, unsure, like her face had forgotten how to do it, but it was real. They sat there for a while. No words, just warmth. Then, slowly, something broke inside her. She leaned forward and buried her face into his chest. Logan didn't move. She cried. Not loud. Not wild. Just soft, shaking sobs like something deep inside her had finally cracked open. Her tears fell onto his chest, and he didn't push her away. He just wrapped his arms around her and held her like she mattered. I thought I was made to be alone, she whispered. Too big to be held. Too strong to be loved. You were wrong, Logan said. You were just waiting for someone strong enough to hold you back. Silence again, only this time. It didn't hurt. Var closed her eyes, still against his chest, and for the first time in her life, she felt safe. The night was quiet. Inside Vari's chest, a storm was raging. She stood under the blinking red light of the outpost's medical building. Snow gathered on her shoulders. She didn't brush it off. Behind that door were answers, but also pain. She had promised herself she would never ask again. The last time she did, the doctors just shook their heads and said, your body rejects life. As if she were a broken tool, not a living soul. But this time, she wasn't asking for herself. This time, she wanted to know. For him. Logan. He had never asked her to change, never pushed, never hinted, never made her feel less. And maybe that's why she wanted to give him more, even if it hurt, even if it meant hearing no again. Her hand moved slowly toward the door. It opened with a soft hiss. The alien nurse inside looked up, surprised. You need help? Vari nodded. I want a scan, internal check. The nurse frowned. Injury? Vari swallowed. No, I want to know if my body could ever carry life. The room went silent. She had said it. The nurse hesitated, then nodded. Lie down, I'll begin. Meanwhile, Logan was waking up from sleep, but Vari's side of the tent was cold. She was gone. His heart skipped. He pulled out a coat and stepped outside, his breath fogging in the icy air. He asked around. No one had seen her. Worry tightened in his chest. Then he saw it, the red light from the med lab, still glowing in the distance. He ran. Inside. Vari stared at the screen as the nurse finished scanning. The nurse looked confused. Strange. She said, your body is changing. Vari tensed. What does that mean? The nurse tapped the screen. Your reproductive system was dormant before. Shut down, but now it's waking up. Vari's eyes widened. So I can. Maybe. The nurse said, "You're not like others. Your strength used to block the cycle. But now something's shifting." Vari felt her heart pounding. She whispered, "Can I try?" Before the nurse could answer, the door opened. Logan stood there, breathless, snow on his hair. "Vari," he said, "I was worried." She looked down, embarrassed. I didn't want you to see me like this." "Like what?" he asked, hopeful. She said, "I thought it would hurt less if I never hoped again. But now," she looked into his eyes, "I want to try. For you." Logan stepped forward slowly. "You don't owe me anything," he said. "I know," Vari replied. "But for the first time in my life, someone stayed. Someone saw me, and now I want to give something back, even if I fail." Logan gently touched her face. "You've already given me more than you know," he said. "But if you want to, try. I'll be with you every step." Vari's voice cracked. "Even if it doesn't work?" He smiled softly. "Especially then." A tear slipped down her cheek. But this time, it wasn't from sadness. It was the beginning of something new. It had been weeks since the test results. Vari didn't talk much about it, and Logan didn't push. But something between them had changed. Not with words, with eyes, with silence. With how long her hand stayed in his. He noticed how she walked. Differently now, more upright, less ashamed. And she noticed how he looked at her, not with pity, but with warmth. She sat beside him that night as the wind howled outside their small shelter. The heater buzzed quietly, and the glow lit only half her face. "You know," Vari said softly, "they used to say my body was good for carrying loads. Not children." Logan looked at her. "And what do you say?" She hesitated, then smiled. "I think maybe I was made to carry love first. The rest will come if it wants to." There was silence again. Logan reached into a bag and pulled out something strange. A folded square cloth. Bright green, worn. He handed it to her. "What's this?" she asked. "My mother's bandana," Logan said. "She gave it to me when I left Earth, said I should give it to someone I truly trust." Vari stared at it like it was treasure. "You're giving it to me?" He nodded. "You're the first person who made this frozen place feel like home." Her lips trembled. She took the cloth in both hands gently, carefully, as if it might vanish. She pressed it to her chest, eyes closed. And then slowly she moved closer. "Logan," she whispered, "if I ask something selfish, would you say no?" He turned toward her. "Try me." Her eyes glistened. Will you lie beside me tonight? Just once. Just to feel like I belong to someone." Logan didn't speak. He simply lay back on the floor mat and opened his arms. Vari moved slowly. Her body, still large and powerful, seemed fragile now. She lay beside him, head against his chest. His heart was beating, steady, warm, real. "Is this okay?" she asked. "More than okay," he whispered. Her arms wrapped around him. She was careful, gentle, even though she had enough strength to crush steel. His hand ran over her back, slow and calm. No words now, just closeness. And for the first time in Vari's life, she didn't feel like too much. She felt just right. Then she said something that made Logan freeze. "If my body carries a child one day, I want it to be yours." He sat up slightly, stunned. "Vari, I'm not asking for now," she said quickly. I need you to know. No one ever saw a future with me. But when I look at you, I see a future I never imagined." Logan leaned down, kissed her forehead gently. And then whispered, "There's no future I want without you in it." Her eyes widened. Her chest tightened. It was like a fire lit deep inside her, a fire that burned away every word of rejection. Every cruel laugh, every cold night. She didn't cry this time. She just held him tighter, as if her whole world finally made sense. Asterisk. The first snow of the new season fell gently on her hands. She looked at them, those same hands that were once called too big, too rough. Now they were holding life. 3 months had passed since the storm. Outpost Zeta was quieter now. The old machines had been repaired, the shelters stronger. And the snow no longer felt so bitter. But inside Logan's tent, something even greater had changed. Vari was glowing, not with light, but with something warmer. Something living. She stood near the heat lamp, gently pressing her hand to her belly. It wasn't large yet, but it was enough. Enough to know something impossible was happening. The body she was told could never hold life was carrying a heartbeat, his heartbeat. The others on the outpost didn't laugh anymore. They watched her with wide eyes. Some bowed their heads in respect. Some even came to her for advice. Because now, she was not just the outcast. She was the first of her kind to carry life after rejection, and everyone wanted to know how. Logan walked in, snowflakes in his hair and 2 cups in his hands. Warm broth, he said. Made it myself. Vari smiled softly. You always bring something. I just want to give you what you've always given me, he said. She tilted her head. What's that? He walked over and touched her stomach gently. Hope. Vari looked down at herself. I used to hide my body, she said. I thought it was wrong. But now, every scar, every curve, every inch made this possible. Logan nodded. You weren't broken. You were built for something bigger. She chuckled, a deep soft sound. Literally, he laughed with her and then turned serious. Are you scared? She looked out at the snow. Yes, she whispered. But I'm not alone. That changes everything. She took his hand and placed it over her belly. They stood there in silence. Then suddenly, a small kick. Vari gasped. Her eyes filled with tears. Did you feel that? She asked. Logan smiled wide. Yes, it's strong, just like its mother. Her face crumpled in emotion. I never thought I'd hear that word, she said. Mother. And now it's yours, Logan replied. Forever. Vari dropped to her knees, overwhelmed, not from pain, but from everything she thought she could never have. And Logan knelt with her, wrapping his arms around her back. She whispered, they said I wasn't built to be a mother. He answered, they were wrong. I don't deserve this, she said. You deserve more, he whispered. And I'll be here for all of it. Outside, snow kept falling quiet, soft, peaceful. Inside, a new life was growing. Inside her. Life no one thought possible. A love no one saw coming. And a future only they could have built together.